I would like to throw this question over that did not make the cut last week. What are your thoughts on some reported fossil anomalies like that of the London hammer, where such a hammer was fossilized in a rock that was supposed to be millions of years?
Well, I'd better take that one because I've been to see it quite a few times. But I'll suggest a competition, since Douglas said I wanted to be first to make a donation today. Congratulations, Douglas. But we were talking before about a possible competition. Anybody who wants to be first to donate 100 buckaroos, we would love to have a competition right now, particularly to help Joe out with the finance in the USA. But yes, having been down to Biloxi, having done quite a few experiments, one of the creation groups paid my way down there one year to actually test all the dinosaur footprints and you name it. And I know the guy who found the hammer. I've been to check where it was found and all those sort of things. The hammer itself is real, right? It's a real actual hammer. It's an old-fashioned mining type hammer, make it yourself sort of thing. And there's no doubt about it. It came out of the location where they said it did, but the location was a crack. Right now, here's what happens, and you can run the experiment yourself. Go down to the beach, go out to the country, drop an iron hammer with a wooden handle down the crack, and come back in 20 years. What you'll find is, if it hasn't rusted away, it will do the opposite. It will form concretions of iron all around it, right, and even weld it into the rock, so that if you were to dig that up, you would think it was part of the rock, but careful checking tells you this is what happens to any iron substance, and no matter what the composition of the rock is, etc., the iron itself will change the pH of the environment. The water coming down will precipitate more iron. Iron has a habit of attracting iron and other minerals as well. So I am not convinced it's an original dumped in the rock. Unlike the questions that people are asking about the canoe in the brown coal or whatever, which definitely seems to be genuine, and so do the tools that we found. That's another subject, so we won't answer questions on that one today. But the iron one, I'm not convinced. If you do go down to Biloxi, by the way, and you see little brown dinosaur footprints climbing up over the rock, John Mackay made them. I took down chemicals that are derived from sewage outlets to actually see, could I stain the rock the same color as an alleged group of human-like footprints were made and dinosaur footprints had, because at those days they were dismissing them, saying they were just the result of sewage upstream coming down and staining the rocks. I have to report that the chemicals involved, because you might be surprised, the reason your poo is actually brown is iron, right? You are getting rid of waste hemoglobin cells and things like that. That's correct, Diane, isn't it?
It's derived from bilirubin, which is bile salts.
Yeah, so it actually contains minerals and things like that. So I took those combination. The head of this geology group was creation group was a chemist. So I was supplied with a wonderful supply of ex-human type materials, and what actually came was the beautiful staining. We could duplicate it totally. So as I said, if you go down and you see little human footprints about that long and little dinosaur footprints, you can blame me. Please don't claim aliens or things like that. But we like to go and do the experiments. So again, to get back to the same subject, no, I'm not convinced that the hammer was an original deposit in the rock, even though the hammer itself is an actual, probably homemade mining hammer from way back.
So it's good evidence that rocks can form very rapidly and wood can petrify very rapidly, but it's not an indication of it was in a millions of years old formation.
No, not at all.